had no idea.
Yeah.
These remarkable paintings were discovered in the guest's parents' house. They are Florida Highwayman paintings. These pieces were created by a first-generation Florida Highwayman painter named Willie Daniels. Daniels was an American landscape artist from Bainbridge, Georgia.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Daniels was elected into the Florida Hall of Fame of Artists,
Really?
along with the original 26.
The Florida Highwaymen began in the 1950s with a group of African-American artists who sold their art from the trunks of their cars. This painting is an oil-on-canvas painting, and it's so realistic and beautiful to behold. Daniels' paintings have gained significant recognition and are highly valued today.
One of their pieces was featured by Michelle Obama in the White House, for example.
At auction, these two wonderful paintings detailing great strides of African-American artists would fetch
$2,000 and $4,000.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
A bronze statue received as a gift from a dear friend who had recently passed away was brought in by the guest. Though this friend had acquired the piece in China, it is revealed that it was actually a Japanese masterpiece from the Meihei period, a golden age for bronze production in Japan. Unlike typical Chinese bronzes featuring gods and warriors, this statue depicted a serene Japanese fisherman with a fish triumphantly dangling from his line, reflecting the Japanese aesthetic preference for everyday subjects. The exquisite detail extended to the 24-karat gold trim, making it a highly valuable parcel-gilt bronze. An inscription hidden on the statue's base provided the key to its origin: the Miyao family, a renowned bronze maker dynasty in Japan. This prestigious maker's mark, along with the statue's condition, significantly boosted its value. The statue wasn't just a decorative piece, it was a testament to the artistry of the Meihei period and a valuable heirloom for the guest. Despite a slight dip in the market, the estimated value of the statue is
$3,000 to $5,000 estimate for its sale.
Wonderful.
From the estate of Donald Marshman, one of the co-screenwriters of the film Sunset Boulevard, this Polish movie poster became a cherished gift for the guest from Marshman's son. Designed by the famous Polish poster artist Waldemar Szwedzki, the poster is notable not only for its striking graphic,
Actually does retain a great deal of value because the graphic is so important.
but also for its personalized inscription from Billy Wilder, the film's director. Marshman was brought into the screenwriting process in 1948 to provide a fresh perspective. He, Wilder, and Charles Brackett ultimately won an Oscar for their work on Sunset Boulevard. The inscription, addressed to Mac, adds significant value to the poster. At auction, with the inscription from Wilder, its value increases to an estimate of
$4,000 to $6,000 poster. Because the inscription's there, I think you can up that to at least $5,000 to $7,000.
what looks to be a normal bracelet is actually a timeless classic. This bracelet is called a Snafflebit bracelet, and it was made in 1965 by Hermes. A bracelet like this was designed to be used by a horse and to provide easy communication. It's made from silver, which at the time of making was quite valuable. The Snafflebit was unusual, and one like this would have been used on top horses because Hermes was known to be associated with luxury. This Snafflebit is a beautiful piece of history, and at an auction, because of its luxury maker, it would fetch the price of
Between $3,000 and $5,000.
Okay, wow.
A guest shared a fascinating family heirloom known as the Tiffany pitcher, dating back to the 1850s. This exquisite piece was presented to his great-great-grandfather, who was a mate on the riverboat Nominee. When a child fell overboard on a charter boat, the guest's great-great-grandfather heroically saved him, and as a reward, the passengers collected money and commissioned Tiffany & Company as a token of their gratitude. The appraiser praised the documentation of the piece's history, noting it as one of the most interesting examples of presentation silver. Typically, such items are awarded for sports events, retirements, or marriages, but a life-saving act makes this pitcher a unique trophy. The intricate repoussé chased scene depicted the dramatic rescue, complete with a depiction of the steamboat Nominee and its name engraved on the wheel, adding to its romantic and historical allure. The front of the pitcher features an inscription with the date and the name of the boy who was saved, enhancing its provenance. This piece held significant interest for collectors of rare American silver, particularly those with a focus on Tiffany silver and early American craftsmanship. Despite some damage, including a bent foot and lead obscuring the maker's mark, The appraiser confirmed its authenticity due to the well-documented history and photographs in a family book. Initially estimated at $4,000 to $5,000, the appraiser suggested that with professional restoration and careful polishing, the value could increase to
$5,000 to $7,000, perhaps even as much as $8,000.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Imagine finding the work of a master painter in the dumpster. That's what today's guest happened to come across in the form of a poster created by Hans Christiansen, who was a very famous German illustrator between the late 1800s and early 1900s. The poster served to raise awareness for a magazine,
which was an art movement that really got its name in the 1920s.
And it was one of the early forms of advertising used since there were no digital devices at the time. The magazine in question was prominent during the Art Nouveau period, and it is proof of the fine work done by Hans. At auction, this poster, with its frame and qualities, would retail at
auction, I'd estimate it between $1,000 and $1,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing.
This collection was purchased by the guest at a sale in New York. It features books autographed by the American poet, social activist, and novelist James Mercer Langston Hughes. Hughes was one of the earliest innovators of jazz poetry and is best known as a leader of the Harlem Renaissance. The collection includes a signed first edition of The Big C, the signed and inscribed Simply Heavenly,
For Gene Howard, sincerely, simple, not Howard, but Shaw, Langston Hughes. It's a very, very clever inspiration.
and one of his most famous works, I Wonder as I Wonder, also signed and inscribed. Presented in excellent condition, this collection has an estimated value of
$8,000 to $10,000.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing. Really?
It's a very desirable object. Beautifully carved.
This guest's uncle was in the Civil War, and this object was attached to his gun. She knew it to be a tobacco dryer and made by the Eskimos, which was confirmed. This object was used by the Eskimos for tobacco and snuff while hunting. The image on the seal is that of the animal being hunted, and the magical powers in the seal would help the hunter find his kill. On the back of the object is another face that is known to reflect the indwelling spirits of the seal. The snuff container also functioned as a small finger mask and would be put on and danced with. There are tiny holes at the side of the head where little feathers were attached, so when the noose was held, the feathers would flutter, giving an animated effect. This object dates back to 1850, and the wood is northern cedar, a strong wood that is resistant to water and cracking. Moreover, when the container is opened, there is a compartment for tobacco and snuff. This is a rare and desirable object, hence, on the retail market, would be worth
About $8,500, $8,500.
Really?
It's a very desirable object. Beautifully carved.
This silk lithograph calendar, originating from the early 1920s, holds significant historical and aesthetic value. It was originally bestowed upon the guest's relative, who served with the Standard Oil Company of New York and China during the late 1800s. This piece stands out for its rare silk printing, typically common in Chinese artworks.
This is lovely because it's not printed on paper. It's printed on silk.
Its imagery depicts scenes likely intended to resonate with both Chinese and Western audiences. Unlike other Standard Oil calendars of its time, which often featured crowded compositions, this one maintains a clear, focused aesthetic that enhances its visual appeal and collectability. From a collector's standpoint, the calendar's condition is exceptional, with vibrant colors and minimal wear, reflecting both its historical significance and the quality of its preservation. Its worth is estimated to be between
At auction, a fair estimate for this piece would be between $800 and $1,200.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
The guest clutched a beautiful doll in their hands, a lucky find from a local thrift store for a mere $15. Tucked with the doll was a charming note, a handwritten story attributing the doll to a Native American chief's wife who crafted it in 1885 for a doctor's wife. While the note is intriguing, some details were likely embellished. However, the note did hold significance and offered clues to the doll's origin. Upon closer inspection, the doll is identified as a representation of the Brule Sioux woman, a tribe from the Dakotas. The doll's exquisite craftsmanship made this pretty obvious. The intricate beadwork, the details on the moccasins, and the traditional clothing all pointed towards a depiction of a high-status woman within the Brule Sioux community. But the most surprising aspect of the doll was its condition. It appeared almost untouched by time, with clean materials and vibrant colors. This is attributed to careful storage over the years, suggesting the doll had been treasured by its previous owners. Dating the doll to the early 1880s, the piece holds historical significance, particularly when considering the note's context. The combination of the doll's quality, age, and potential connection to a bygone era within the Brule Sioux tribe made it a highly valuable collector's item. Taking all these factors into account, the estimated worth of the doll at auction is,
I think you're talking $3,500 to $4,500 if the doll came up at auction.
Really?
It's a great thing.
At first glance, it looks like a wilting leaf, but upon close inspection, one would find that this is a piece of jewelry, a brooch. The guest inherited it from her grandmother after she passed away.
So she suggested to Granny that why don't she think about perhaps buying a piece of Grima jewellery. Granny bought this piece and wore it often, and then when she died, she left it to me.
This piece of jewelry was made and designed by the Anglo-Italian designer Andrew Grima, known as the doyen of modern jewelry design in Britain. This brooch showcases his ingenuity and brilliance.
And so he then developed this kind of free-spirited jewelry and design.
Made of 18-karat yellow gold with platinum down the center, set with brilliant cut diamonds. The back of the brooch bears the hallmark for his father-in-law's workshop, H.J. Co. Dated to 1965, this stunning piece of jewelry, a true work of art, will have an estimated value of
£5,000 to £7,000.
Okay. Wow.
This traveling gambling wheel, dating back to around 1900, was made in Chicago, a hub for high-quality gambling equipment. Likely used by con men to hustle money in bars and trains, it's designed to favor the house, ensuring the odds were always in their favor. This amazing wheel has been a cherished family heirloom for as long as the guest can remember, passed down through generations from grandparents and great-grandparents who had a penchant for collecting antiques. Despite its age, the wheel remains in remarkably good condition, adding to its allure. It not only remains a fascinating slice of gambling history, but also carries the sentimental value of a family treasure, a testament to its historical value and excellent preservation. This unique piece, at auction, is expected to fetch around.
It should certainly bring in the $1,500 range.
Really?
A stunning leaded glass lampshade with a gilt bronze base was crafted by Duffner and Kimberly in the early 20th century.
You saw here the little Duffner and Kimberly label.
Yes.
This is a beautiful leaded glass shade.
It was purchased by the guest's grandmother at an auction around 1929 and has been cherished by the family for over 80 years, despite enduring damage from the Loma Prieta earthquake, which caused an irregular shape and minor glass loss. The lamp retains its inherent beauty and craftsmanship. Notably, it features intricate leaded glasswork typical of the period, showcasing the quality of production. Though it is not as pioneering as the works of Tiffany Studios, the lamp is esteemed for its elegance and historical value. The lamp's conservation is emphasized, highlighting its enduring allure and importance as early 20th century craftsmanship. Professional restoration could significantly enhance its auction value, making it worth much more than in its current state.
$12,000 to $16,000 if it were in good shape.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
Oh,
and
good.
I'm happy to know something about it.
It's a pleasure to see it.
This item is so realistic that one would not realize it is a sculpture. It represents Mexican folk art in all of its magnificence. The sculpture was carved by a famed Mexican artist named Manuel Jimenez Ramirez. This sculpture is called an alebre, which represents Mexican fantastical creatures.
Born in the early 20th century and lived up to 2005 and became famous for these carvings. His animals are these animated, dynamic figures.
It was carved around the 1990s, and it demonstrates peak expertise due to its realistic appearance. The animal sculpture is quite large, and it takes a level of know-how to create this. This beautiful Mexican folk art sculpture in today's market would auction at
$800 and $1,000.
Oh, wow.
A cherished gift from her grandmother. This guest presents us with a Dion Quintuplets Dolls and Rocker, created by the Madame Alexander Doll Company, founded in 1923 by Beatrice Alexander. The dolls represent the first quintuplets known to have survived infancy. Born in Callander, Ontario, in 1934, the dolls are in their original presentation rocker, adorned with swans on the side and bearing the names of each of the girls. With great historical provenance and presented in excellent condition, this piece is worth
$2,500.
Awesome. I'll be able to give them to my daughter someday.
For us is a remarkable pair of Chinese white jade rams. This exquisite pair was a heartfelt parting gift from a family in Formosa to our guest's father. Both pieces are made in the traditional style of the Qianlong dynasty, and they have profound symbolic meanings.
So these are rams, which are symbols of male power, one of the 12 zodiac figures.
These stunning pieces are crafted out of white jade with a russet skin overlay and are perched on intricately designed wooden bases. Although reminiscent of the Qianlong period, these pieces were created in the Republic era, circa 1911 to 1949. These rare and elegant items have been carefully preserved and are expected to fetch an impressive sum at auction, estimated at
$15,000 to $25,000. Wow.
A remarkable horn chair featuring hides of elk, moose, and buffalo forms part of a set of 4, believed to date back to the early 1900s. Originally from the Clarence Parker Estate in North Dakota, it stands as a testament to Western craftsmanship and heritage. Its construction showcases meticulous attention to detail, evident in the secure fastenings and the thoughtful capping of moose horn tips with plaster of Paris for safety and preservation. Its robust design reflects a commissioned quality rather than hastily assembled furniture typical of its kind.
Say that we haven't seen horn furniture or moose furniture, but nothing of this size, quality, or condition.
This incredible chair, upholstered with buffalo hide, embodies a distinctive Western aesthetic. Its blend of materials and craftsmanship sets it apart, making it a rare find in the realm of horn furniture, potentially exceeding this range under the right market conditions. Its value could fetch at auction.
It would be $6,000 to $8,000, but that's not to say that it couldn't surpass that if the right people were engaged.
The guest brought in an optic box that her father bought in California for appraisal. Joseph Connell was the artist who made the shadow box in the 1980s in New York. He was a realist and was into Aussie-Dorealism, which accentuated all his works. Joseph lived from 1927 to 1972 in a house with his mother, and he would have taken broken pieces of glass or china and put them in a case. The artist had exhibitions outside of New York, even as far as the LA Gallery in 1962. These pieces in the box look like planets or the solar system, but there is no signature or mark on the back of the box. With authentication, this box would be worth a few $100s. Hence, it should be checked by the catalog people who are collecting all Joseph's works. If this box is authenticated as Joseph Connell's, at an auction, it could fetch
$100,000 to $150,000.
$100,000 to $150,000. Oh my God. Wow.
Myra Ann Smith's prized possession, a CF Martin 00021 guitar, is a remarkable instrument made in 1938. This guitar features Brazilian rosewood back and sides, an ebony fingerboard adorned with snowflake mother-of-pearl inlays and herringbone trim around the sound hole. It showcases high-grade materials and exceptional craftsmanship from one of Martin's best production periods. Purchased in 1939 from J&S Music Company in Shreveport by Myra's mother. The guitar was passed to the guest after she died in 1989.
Myra was an accomplished musician. She wrote a lot of hit songs. As you can see, Myra was quite an independent-looking lady.
The guitar shows extensive pick wear, indicating it was played frequently. Despite this, it remains in its original condition, with no refining or retouching. In today's market, this well-preserved Martin guitar is valued at
$20,000 in today's market.
Yeah, that's an eye-opener, yeah. That's a much higher than I could even have imagined.
It looks like an ordinary shirt, but this shirt represents a piece of American history. This is a Civil War uniform worn by naval surgeons at the time. For a piece of clothing worn in the 1800s, this uniform is still in top condition. It was made in Cincinnati around the time of the Civil War. The uniform is made from high-quality material, which has helped maintain its condition. We can also see the shoulder straps are still in great shape. Despite being exposed to air, the buttons on the uniform are also in excellent condition.
For medical, retail value of $10,000, possibly $12,000.
Purchased and preserved for over 15 years, this 12th century vase originates from the eastern parts of the world. The appraiser traces its production back to Damascus, the world's prime exporter of glass in that period. This glass vase bears an inscription of benediction in Arabic, translating to, "In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful." Additionally, it features a fish design, indicating it was used to hold or drink water. More than 1,000 years old, its current condition shows cracks on the body and some deposits of dirt, typical of glass that has been buried for a long time. However, the originality of this piece is questioned, as the appraiser insists its effects are not from time withering, but from acid.
So this is intaglio engraving, and my feeling is this has been done with acid. See, in the day, they didn't do it in acid in 14th or 12th century.
Until proven to be an authentic ancient Arabian vase, this piece is said to be worth only...
You know what my valuation is? 800 quid.
Fantastic, yeah.
Because it's what you paid for it.
The guest's father-in-law was an astute collector of art and acquired this immaculate piece, which was passed down to the guest and his wife. This gigantic fish is a trade sign made during the late 19th century. The sign has a beautiful form and an incredible surface, which shows evidence of being hung outside for a long time.
It's a little difficult to tell its origin. One clue might be the sort of wood that was used in carving of the fish. Well, we don't know, do we? It's all painted over.
The quality of the artwork is brilliant and is mounted on a wrought iron bracket. The appraiser wasn't able to determine what wood the sign was carved from, nor its origin, although, based on its aesthetic appeal and its evident age, it is given a conservative estimate of
$10,000 to $15,000 range.
It's nice. We really like it.
This guest inherited this artifact from her father, who started the Brimfield Antique Show.
Grandfather was Gordon Reed. He started the Brimfield Antique Show, and it sat on a table for as long as I can remember in the house, and my mother got it, then I got it.
This is a Chinese bronze censer, dated according to a manuscript to 1872 AD, the 12th year of the Emperor Tongxi, the 9th emperor of the Qing dynasty. This censer is an artistic work of art crafted with sheer brilliance, featuring intricate designs on the edges that suggest it was used in a temple. A rare and unique censer of this immaculate configuration is estimated to be worth
perhaps $8,000 to $12,000 on this bronze censer.
Okay.
The guest brought in a map that was saved by her father from a post office about to be demolished, and he had had it framed after that. Having the insignia of the US Post Office, this map is surely a post office map. It was a working map for the post office, having all the locations they covered, which was the North Carolina and Virginia areas. All the routes covered are on the map, and at the bottom are the keys explaining what the symbols meant. Also, there were colored lines showing the routes to cover once, twice, or 3 times each week, while the blue-lined routes were 3 times a week. The red ones were once a week. This map was issued on February 1st, 1888, and while there are updated editions, this was the first edition of the map. What is valuable about maps are the area, the information, and the relevance to the time, which are adequately captured on this map. In perfect shape, this map would be worth $3,000 to $4,000 in the market, but due to chipped edges, it is worth
$1,800 on this map.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean a lot of money even given the condition.
In this condition.
These 2 extraordinary drawings by John Biggers are quite fascinating. Biggers, an African-American muralist who rose to prominence after the Harlem Renaissance. John Biggers, charcoal drawings with white chalk additions. Biggers' style in these drawings suggests they were created in the 1950s, around the time he first traveled to Africa. The drawings feature a front and back view of the same figure, a rare painting. The subject is speculated to be either an African woman Biggers met or a tribute to his wife.
I think 1956 1947 was the first time he went to Africa. That would make sense for the date. His wife is still alive, so it's possible that she could be contacted and find out if it is her.
The historical and artistic significance of these pieces is immense. In today's market, this remarkable pair of drawings is valued at
$12,000 to $18,000.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing them in today.
Oh, my pleasure.
These remarkable Black Forest carvings were a gift from the guest's grandmother. They are believed to have been in the family for a long time. These carvings date back to the late 19th to early 20th century, likely from the 1880s. The quality and depth of the carving make these some of the finest Black Forest plaques.
Plaques I've ever seen. Really? Generally, when you see the plaques, you don't see this quality and this depth of carving.
The pieces are made from fruit wood, an unusual choice for such intricate work. These stunning carvings exemplify the exquisite craftsmanship of Black Forest artisans. Individually, the plaques are valued at varying amounts. However, the entire set of 3 plaques is conservatively valued at
$1,000 to $1,500 for the whole set of 3.
This painting represents the pinnacle of Native American style. It was drawn around 1955 by Woody Crumbo. Woody was a master artist whose work typically followed this style, but he was also skilled in painting portraits and other styles. His paintings are rarely available to private collectors, which significantly increases their value. This painting, like its creator, is a masterpiece, and if it were to come up for auction, thanks to Woody's reputation, it would retail at
$20,000 to $25,000.
A glance at this masterpiece of painting, and it could become your favorite. This item is an oil painting on canvas, and it is unframed. It beautifully depicts a cavalryman from the Napoleonic Wars in France. As ravishing as this painting is, however, it is a copy of an original done by Theodore Géricault. The painting is finished well, which suggests it is copied by another master painter.
Now, I think your painting could be as new as 1970, 1980. It's really done with pretty meticulous detail.
It's likely the painting was done as a sort of homage to Theodore, and it would be a great collection for many who love antique paintings or their copies. This painting, with all its allure, would fetch an auction price of
maybe $100, maybe a couple $100.
This dramatic seagull sculpture was a present given to the guest by her sister, purchased at an auction in London during the 1930s.
I used to live in London. Many years ago, it was bought at Heels in Tottenham Court Road. My late sister, and then she gave it to me.
This piece is a very expressive example of Art Deco made during the golden age of the movement. It was designed by the iconic French artist Jacques Adnet and Jean Adnet. The brothers were icons of luxurious French modernism, and their vision is evident in this exquisite piece. Although there is some damage to the sculpture, the price at auction is estimated at...
Even taking that into consideration, you're going to have to go out with £300, maybe £350 to go and buy him again.
Oh.
German crafts are well known for their durability and uniqueness, and the same surely can be said about these unique-looking beer mugs. Actually called beer steins, these pieces are referred to as character steins. Probably shipped into the U.S. to be sold, the quality of these steins is so high. 4 out of 5 steins were crafted by a company called Scheerholz around 1900.
It is referred to as Scheerholz. The technical name is Plaue, P-L-A-U-E.
And they're hand-painted porcelain works. The items vary, including the drunken monkey, the pig, and the sad radish. There's no way of identifying who made the 5th item, which is a salt-glazed stoneware. These items, which are really terrific and whimsical, individually would be valued at
In the $300 to $500 range a piece. They're so whimsical and entertaining. I'm really pleased that you came. Thank you very much. Where's the Kleenex? Oh my God.
This box is a treasured family heirloom, inherited by the guest from her grandparents.
This box was a piece that I inherited, and my grandparents were originally from Boston. It's from a pair. I remember as a child it was on a sideboard.
It is a Boston knife box made primarily from mahogany wood, featuring a beautiful arrangement of holes to keep knives and cutlery organized. The box is also equipped with a lock to secure the silverware when not in use. Additionally, it has a sawtooth inlay decoration along the base made from white pine, which is typical of furniture designs originating from Boston. Dating back to the 1800s, this single knife box is worth
$5,000 to $8,000.
Where's the Kleenex? Oh my God.
The first feature you'll notice about this pot is its radiating shine. Although it resembles a pot, it also looks like a vessel. The pot was crafted by Mexican pottery artist Margaret Tafoya. This pot represents the pinnacle of Mexican pottery expertise.
And she is a Native American that lived in Santa Clara Pueblo, which is Indian Pueblo in New Mexico.
And their style of making pottery is quite unique. Another interesting aspect of this pot is that Margaret used a bear claw as her signature.
And it represents good luck. The reason why they chose the bear for good luck and for the water pot was because the bear could always find water.
In this day and age, it is rare to see a large pot that has remained undamaged. This pot is a beautiful part of Native American history, and it would fetch an auction price of
Close to $6,000 to $8,000. So I think that your $5 investment at a garage sale paid off very handsome.
Very well.
This collection of Native American artifacts is a captivating journey into the past, each piece telling a unique story of cultural heritage and craftsmanship. The Plains Model Cradle, which is the first purchase, is a charming relic from about 1890. Its little doll is a delightful touch, and the cradle's value has been significantly appreciated.
Probably Dakota. It has the little doll, which is very nice, and probably, I think about $800 to $1,200 would be the value of that today.
Next, the Tlingit Northwest Coast Shaman's Rattle, known as an oyster catcher rattle, stands out with its intricate design. Although this piece turned out to be a reproduction, it is still valuable.
$75,000 or $100,000.
The Woodlands Belt Cup is a true gem, likely from the 18th century and possibly of Iroquois origin. This piece features a detailed vignette of two beavers flanking a pine tree, suggesting a clan symbol. Its rich patina and exquisite craftsmanship are indicative of a piece that has been used over long distances. Together, these artifacts provide a glimpse into the rich traditions of Native American cultures, and the Belt Cup is worth
$15,000 to $20,000. Wow. Not bad for $250.
No, I'm glad you waited till now to tell me.
That's right.
Very exciting.
These pictures are not your ordinary photographs. The guests collected these photographs for over 15 years and highlighted that their first acquisition was an autographed picture of P.T. Barnum, famously associated with the Barnum and Bailey Circus, was known as the greatest showman on earth and the Shakespeare of advertising for his exceptional marketing skills. The appraiser noted that Eisenman took the photographs, a premier 19th century photographer based in New York who specialized in capturing circus performers and theatrical figures, often referred to as outsiders or freaks. Among the collection were cabinet card photographs, album and prints from the 1870s and 1880s featuring notable circus performers such as Millie and Christine, who were Siamese twins, albino sisters, a snake charmer, a lady with 4 legs, a tattooed man, and a bearded lady. Many of these photographs were signed, adding to their historical and monetary value. One photograph in particular, of the Count and Countess Magri, had signatures and an inscription on the back. Additionally, the collection included smaller photographs known as carte de visite, standardized calling cards. The appraiser found a particular interest in Rose de Alma, who resembled the Circassian woman introduced by Barnum as special circus figures due to their unique soft and fuzzy hair. In total, there were over 110 photographs spanning some of the circus's most prominent history. And regarding the value,
I'm at $10,000 to $15,000. Now I'm shaking.
If timeless pieces were in watch form, they would be these 2 watches. The 2 watches are very special because of their rich history.
And one of the founding members of the American watch industry was a man named Edward Howard, who also had his factory in Boston. And together we've turned up both an Edward Howard watch.
And they represent the pinnacle of Boston watchmaking during the 19th century. These watches were made around 1870, but they've remained high quality thanks to their Boston heritage. The watches are also quite appealing because of the shine of the gold material from which they were made.
If you open up the back of a Howard, it is this wonderful mechanism.
These beautiful American watches at a suitable auction would fetch the price of
$1,500, $2,500 as well.
This seemingly mysterious item was inherited from the guest's parents. He vaguely remembered it from their childhood, unsure of its purpose. However, on close inspection, it is recognized as a Roycroft American Beauty Vase. The Roycroft Group was a renowned American arts and crafts movement manufacturer, and their American Beauty vases were highly sought after. These American Beauty vases were known for their elegant form and handcrafted copper detailing. This particular vase would have been a stunning centerpiece holding beautiful flowers and adding a touch of artistry to any room. The green patina might be considered desirable on other copper objects like the Statue of Liberty, but was detrimental to the vase's value. In its current state, the estimated auction value of the vase is
$100,000. Appreciate it very much.
what appears to be an average print is actually a depiction of a historic location. This print represents the Comstock Lode, which is a lode of silver ore located under a slope in Virginia City, Nevada. The Comstock Lode was discovered in 1859, and many fortunes of the 1800s came from this lode. The print depicting the lode was created in 1877 by an artist named T.L. Dawes. What's impressive about this print is that it shows so many incredible details. Prints like this are quite rare, and if it were to auction, it would fetch nothing less than
probably between $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh, Chris!
Yeah.
We have quite the combo on the roadshow today. This plant stand and table are quite special, but not for the reason you'd think. They're special because they were among the first items on which pyrography was done. Regarding the design, pyrography refers to designs made using fire or heat. The pyrography designs on this combo are quite appealing and scintillating, and the designs are exceptionally well detailed.
This wonderful watercolor design, and then they've been varnished and protected.
The method by which pyrography is done is quite unique.
A small hot iron put into a benzene flame, an alcohol-type base flame, and burnt in.
At auction, this combo of paint stand and table would fetch a suitable price of
really over $3,000.
This piece transcends the realm of ordinary toys. It is an exquisite wooden eagle, once cherished by the guest's mother, crafted with meticulous attention to detail by the esteemed S.A. Smith in Vermont. This enchanting piece exemplifies the finest wooden riding toys of the late 19th century, renowned for their remarkable creations, including battleships and cars. S.A. Smith's toys were a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the era. This particular eagle, dating back to approximately 1895, stands out as the pinnacle of their work, embodying both artistry and playful elegance. Adorned with patriotic Americana elements, such as a shield proudly labeled America on the seat, this toy captures the cultural spirit of its time. Today, this beautifully crafted artifact is not merely a plaything, but a valuable collector's item, appraised at
this could easily bring $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh my goodness, I am thrilled to death.
In the early 1970s, the guest discovered a porcelain set at an antique shop just outside of Philadelphia. It included a teapot, creamer, sugar bowl, cups and saucers, all small in size and adorned with intricate Dresden-style paintings. Each piece bore an underglazed letter A and a gold rose mark. Initially, it was believed to be an early 18th century set with an A mark linked to Augustus, the German emperor. However, it was later found to be from the 1880s, marked by Helena Wolfson's Dresden Company. A gold rose mark, another identifier of the company, confirmed it was from the 1880s, not the early 18th century. Despite being an antique fake, the set remains a valuable piece of hand-painted Dresden porcelain. In today's market, its retail value would be between
So in today's market, my guess is that a retail price for this set would be somewhere between $400 and $600.
The guest proudly presented a unique artwork depicting a bustling scene in New York Harbor. It was a commissioned piece by Thomas Willis, a renowned artist who used silk as his primary medium. The guest's great-grandfather had the piece created for their great-grandmother, whose family owned tugboat companies in that area. The artwork's detail is really impressive. Willis's mastery in capturing the rigging of the ships and the realistic touches like the silk spray at the water's edge and the velvet smoke from the smokestack were truly remarkable. Through further examination, the prominent figure of Edward J. Berwind, a titan of industry and yachting enthusiast, depicted in the scene was identified. The red ship with Sandy Hook inscribed on its side offered a crucial clue. The scene captured a yacht race in New York Harbor around 1910. This transformed the artwork from a beautiful depiction into a historical snapshot, making it even more valuable. While there have been a slight decline in the general market value for Thomas Willis's work, the exceptional quality and condition of this particular piece cannot be neglected. The Willis's masterpiece is estimated to be worth
$10,000 to $15,000.
Furthermore, considering its historical significance and superior quality, the suggested insurance value is
Of about $30,000. It's far and away superior to any work by this artist we've seen.
Here is a portrait of the guest's great-great-great-uncle, E.J. Baldwin, and he was a silversmith in Massachusetts. He was born in Connecticut in 1778, arrived in Massachusetts in 1802, where he lived in a luxurious house, displaying his wealth. Although born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he was a prominent silversmith known for his spoons. He made his first spoon in 1804 after he got married to Anne Briggs, the daughter of a prominent lawmaker, and her initials are probably on this spoon. This portrait was done by a prominent artist called John Brewster Jr., and he made this around 1810. It's believed to be done in 1810 because of the style of the dress and hair, plus the classic posture and beautiful drawings of the ear, eyes, and hair. Also, the frame is original gold with some damage, but the value is not affected. At an auction, the spoon would bring $100 to $200, while the portrait would be worth
about $8,000 to $12,000. On a good day, I'm going to tell you, it could bring $15,000.
They're presented with a collection of glass artifacts. These are glass decanters whose values are a mystery.
We set us a challenge with 3 decanters, one of which is a basic model worth £250, is a better one worth £1,500, and then the best one is worth a jaw-dropping £10,000.
Decanters used to be a must-have for wine consumers in the past, as they removed the sediments from the wine, easily improving a 6-grade wine to a 4-grade. Now they are primarily valuable as collectibles and are not used as often. This collection dates back to the 18th century. The size, shape, and design of these glass decanters are exquisite, but upon closer inspection, one would discover that they are of different grades. What value will these widely used, now almost forgotten, pieces of glass art hold?
Acquired by this guest for a measly sum, this pottery piece is truly a work of great pottery craftsmanship. Made by a company called Moorcroft in England, this piece is from one of their most popular lines. Its date of craftsmanship can be set to circa 1835, as the designs on it and the way it's crafted suggest it is from that time period. The piece has motifs of a tree set around it, adding to its beauty. In an auction setting, this fine piece of top-notch pottery would be valued at
$1,000 piece.
Wow, that's more than I expected.
The guest brought a gun and a Bannerman's catalogue onto the show, items he received from his father. The gun is a model 1861 Springfield, made by the Savage Company. We can discern the production date inscribed on the gun's lock plate. Furthermore, the firearm was constructed from iron and steel with a walnut stock. This rifle was widely used during troops in the American Civil War. It has been well taken care of and remains in excellent condition. Given its rich history, we can expect this firearm to fetch a value of
For about $2,500.
That's wonderful. Can I shoot it?
This is one of the most unique vases you will see, and this is because, in contrast to most vases, it's designed to look like a fan. It has a beautiful peacock design on its surface, which conveys luxury, and the color is quite distinct, increasing its appeal. The vase was made to model those produced by the Tiffany Company, but, as we can see, this is not an authentic Tiffany vase.
Is an attempt at a Tiffany fan vase. You can see the way it comes up like this. Right. And Tiffany did make some fan vases. However, they didn't quite stop at this.
Nevertheless, the vase is still a beautiful design and exudes great appeal. At an auction, this fan vase would retail at the price of
$250. So, you and gotten something out of it.
A glance at this photograph, and many folks wouldn't notice it's over 50 years old. This photograph was taken in 1929 by Margaret Burke White. The photograph was taken to depict the complete steelmaking process at the time. Margaret had a trademark style for identifying her photographs.
This black ruled border that we see around the print is typical of how she created her photographs.
She also loved to use cream-colored paper to serve as the frame for her pictures. Her method of taking photos is also quite unique and represents the abstract method of photography. This is a historical depiction of steelmaking, and this photograph would auction at
$4,000 to $6,000.
The one print?
The one photograph.
The guest, a former president of a Beatles fan club, brought in a special treasure, a first edition copy of John Lennon's In His Own Right, signed by John Lennon himself. But the story behind the autograph made the book even more remarkable. The guest had met all the Beatles at their homes and brought them gifts from their fellow fan club members. During a visit to Paul McCartney's house, the guest had the book with them. Paul picked it up and started reading a poem from the book into the guest's tape recorder, creating a truly unique and personal connection to the book. The autograph is really significant, especially considering the prevalence of forged Beatles signatures. However, the fact that the guests had witnessed John sign the book and had photographic evidence of their meeting with Paul McCartney reading from the book made the provenance of the autograph undeniable. Even the unpublished candid photograph of Paul McCartney has a value at the antique market. However, the estimated auction value of the book is to be
$3,000 to $5,000. That is really great.
This guest purchased a tall case clock at an auction in Charlotte, North Carolina. It features all wooden gears from around 25 to 26 years ago, indicating that it dates from the early 1800s.
Well, the face is, I think, very attractive, and just the simplicity of the case itself.
This clock was crafted by Elver Hart and Robinson Truesdale, brothers-in-law who worked in a Hartford, Ohio clock factory. Its case is made of poplar, a secondary wood often painted to simulate finer wood. Although the case lacks significant redeeming qualities, the dial and wooden works are the true highlights.
But as a result, they don't run as well because the gears accept moisture and they'll swell up and stop, so they're very temperamental as a result.
The dial's vibrant paint and excellent condition elevate it from a mere timepiece to folk art. It operates with a 30-hour pull-up mechanism, where the weight is manually pulled up to wind the clock. Despite the simple case, the clock's dial features a misspelled signature and a reverse number 3, adding folk art charm. This specific clock, with its unique dial and excellent condition, is now valued at
$4,000 to $5,000 range.
Oh, really?
Because of the dial. It's just fantastic. It's one of the best I've ever seen.
This guest and his wife bought this piece of furniture at an estate sale.
Went to an estate sale, waited in line all night, and fought through the dealers, and was one of the first ones in.
Well, good for you. Your persistence paid off.
It is a William and Mary style chest dating back to the early 18th century. Made in southeastern Pennsylvania, the chest is crafted primarily from walnut and oak wood, featuring a fairly thick construction. The uniqueness of this piece comes from its original foot design.
Its basic form, and maybe later in the 18th, early 19th century, add some bracket feet in order to update the fashion. So it's extra rare to have those turned feet,
So
which
these
are
are
original.
the original feet.
A piece of furniture of this immaculate quality and in very good condition will have an estimated value of
Between 10 and 15,000.
15? That's right.
This painting by American artist Willard Leroy Metcalf, a prominent impressionist landscape painter, dates back to 1906. Metcalf's work from this period, known for its pastel colors and feathery bushwork, marks a revival in his artistic style. This transformation came after personal hardships, showcasing his resilience and evolving talent. This painting likely depicts a scene from Old Lyme, Connecticut, showcasing rolling hills and a rocky landscape. The artwork was discovered in the attic of the guest's late wife's grandfather's house, originally framed in ornate Rococo style. It was reframed in a simpler peachy cypress frame.
By the ugliest Rococo frame you've ever seen, which then my late wife replaced with this Pecky cypress.
A title on the stretcher at the back reads Reflection of Spring, reflecting its significance and Metcalfe's esteemed place in American Impressionism. Today, its estimated value is
$150,000.
Wow, that's pretty good for something that was free.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
a painting depicting a couple and their baby on the shores of Lake Erie, created in 1894, holds significant family and artistic value. This scene features the guests' grandparents and Aunt Susan, set in Huron, Ohio, near Norwalk.
I have to tell you, Ellen, you have the best looking grandparents of any that I've ever seen.
And they really looked like that, too.
The painting was signed by Charles Courtney Curran, an American Impressionist painter connected to the family through marriage. He was born in Hartford, Kentucky. Curran studied in Ohio, Cincinnati, New York, and Paris, where he developed his iconic style. Curran was known for his romanticized portrayals of women in scenic settings, often with dramatic skies and bathed in sunlight. This oil-on-canvas painting is notable for its round format and gold-painted corners, creating an illusion of a larger frame. The presence of a woman in a white dress, a favored subject in art, adds significant value to it. If sold in a retail gallery, this particular painting was estimated to be worth around
It might bring around $75,000.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
A mysterious object, found at a flea market for $20 to $25 back in 1974, was brought in by the guest. He had always been unsure of its purpose and origin, even suspecting it might be a voodoo item from Louisiana. The big reveal? It was a hat rack. The folk art category embraced unique and sometimes enigmatic pieces like this one. The hat rack was exceptionally well crafted, featuring a magnificently carved mountain lion figure and horns with original varnish. While the cowhide lining showed some wear and a horn tip was missing, the overall condition remained impressive, especially considering its age. Its lack of single origin story allowed each owner to imbue the piece with their own meaning. In this case, the guest had unknowingly acquired a valuable hat rack, but for years it had served as a conversation starter and a testament to their unique collecting taste. The estimated retail value is
$3,000 to $4,000.
Almost 25% of a college tuition. Can we get it up some?
Yay! $15, that's pretty good.
Pretty good return on investment.
Pretty good.
A family heirloom, a penny bank from around 1900, has been treasured for approximately 80 years. Penny banks, popular toys in the late 19th century, and coveted collectibles in the 20th century.
And this elderly couple just had, out in their driveway, just had like 3 big rugs, a lot of other stuff.
Are admired for their sculptural and dimensional qualities, especially those made of cast iron. This particular bank was manufactured by J&E Stevens in Cromwell, Connecticut, around the 1890s. This bank features a slot for a cap, creating a small explosion after shooting the penny for extra excitement. The bank has remained in excellent condition, retaining its original paint and most notably its original feathers. These feathers are a fragile component that is almost always replaced due to their delicacy. In its current condition, with the original feathers and high-quality paint, it is valued at
$4,000 and $6,000.
Wow. Yay! $15, that's pretty good.
Pretty good return on investment.
The guest's intuition proved to be spot on when they decided to snag this item at a garage sale for a mere $20. While they mistakenly believed it was an Indian Motorcycle Company promotional item due to the sticker, it is revealed to be a far more exciting truth. The unassuming object was actually a Buddy L bus, a holy grail for collectors of vintage toys. Manufactured by the Buddy L Company in Moline, Illinois during the late 1920s, these pressed steel toys were known for their durability and intricate design. This particular bus, despite being missing its wheels and showing some signs of wear, was a primary example of such craftsmanship. The estimated auction value of this item is
$800 to $1,200 at auction.
Wow.
A beautiful silver bowl, a collaborative design rich in both sentimental and artistic value, was brought in by the guest. It commemorated the guest's service at the Rochester Institute of Technology and served as a unique reminder of their collaboration with Hans Christensen, a renowned silversmith. It is the work of Hans Christensen, a respected artist who had apprenticed under the legendary George Jensen. Christensen's background lent the bowl immediate prestige, but its true beauty lay in its design. The piece perfectly captured the essence of the 1970s aesthetic, a style that was experiencing a significant revival among collectors, especially those with fond memories of the era. Beyond its visual appeal, the bowl showcased exceptional craftsmanship. The hand-hammered texture and the organic uneven rim distinguished it as a one-of-a-kind piece, a stark contrast of mass-produced items. This emphasis on handcrafted artistry resonated with modern collectors who increasingly sought out pieces that told a story and highlighted the skills of the maker. Considering the confluence of factors, Hans Christiansen's artistry, the resurgent popularity of 1970s designs, and the bowl's handcrafted quality, the estimated auction value is
$2,000 to $4,000 and could perhaps exceed that.
Yeah, that's great. We are presented with 3 Monkey Band porcelain figurines. The Monkey Band is a comic group of figures depicting monkey musicians and a larger, excited conductor, all dressed in fancy contemporary costumes. The first Monkey Band was made for the King of Saxony in the Holy Roman Empire, Augustus III, as a mockery of his prized orchestra, who were said to play like performing monkeys. These figurines were crafted by Meissen in 1753. Of the 3 conductor monkey figurines, 1 is a copy.
This one is too light. It isn't the quality of Meissen. This was made by a notorious faker in France called Samson.
While the remaining 2 are originals from the Meissen factory. Among the originals, the earliest one with a plain white base, a quality suitable for the king's banqueting table, is of the highest value, estimated at...
Today this is worth £10,000.
Goodness me, well...
This bronze statue of Osiris, the Egyptian god of the underworld, was purchased by the guest's mother at an auction in England. It also came with a certificate linking it to the famed Karnak Temple. The statue is a depiction of Osiris, complete with his characteristic symbols, the flail and the crook, and the white crown. Its age is around 300 BC, placing it in the late period of ancient Egypt. The statue was likely placed in a tomb to assist the deceased in the afterlife. While the statue held historical significance, it had some condition issues. The most concerning was bronze disease, a green and white corrosion that could damage the statue. While the guest has grown fond of the patina, there is need for professional restoration to prevent further deterioration. If the statue were in perfect condition, it would be worth $3,000 to $4,000, but in its current condition, it is worth
$2,000. Thank you.
This unique heirloom, a book-form watch, has been in the family for 5 or 6 generations, dating back to their great-great-great-grandmother, who was from France. The watch is a type from around 1860, featuring a compartment that could hold not just one photograph, but a small family portrait with spaces for 3 pictures. This personalization added sentimental value to the watch beyond its mechanical function of keeping time. Based on the watch's condition, in its current state, it's estimated to be worth
$4,000 to $6,000 at a show.
Interestingly, if restored professionally, it could be worth as much as
$6,000 to $8,000.
The guest's mother bought a Georgian or Chippendale mahogany architect's table 25 to 30 years ago in New York, using it to prop up books. The appraiser demonstrated its features, including a lifting surface for oversized books or drawings, a pull-out and lift-up drawing or writing surface, and a storage compartment. It also has a candle slide and an inkwell. Despite some well-done restorations, such as replaced brass and a spliced edge, the table was valued at
$5,000 to $6,000 range. Guess I ought to get it insured.
Take a look at this delightful Tiffany Studios table that was passed down to this guest by her great-grandfather. Accompanying this lamp is a photograph showing the lamp in the interior of the house. This lamp features a Moorish pattern characterized by intricate geometric designs, which usually showcase complex patterns carved or etched into materials, like brass, creating a stunning visual effect. What is unique about this lamp is that it has all its parts intact, which is quite unusual. The prism is reinforced in such a way that it doesn't fall off, which makes it more valuable.
Whereas the other prisms I've seen are usually hooked very flimsily on a little S hook, and that it explains why they're all gone.
Well preserved and in pristine condition, this Tiffany Studios table lamp will fetch
$25,000 to $35,000.
Great. That's wonderful.
We have here a beautiful Rookwood pottery piece inherited from the guest's father-in-law. She had always admired it, but knew little about its history or value. It is a rare and valuable piece, a Rookwood pottery jug with a silver overlay by Gorham Manufacturing. The Rookwood pottery itself was decorated with a hand-painted picture, likely by artist Harriet Wilcox, who was known for her whimsical designs. Uniquely, the silver overlay actually complemented and framed the artwork, showcasing a respectful collaboration between the pottery artist and the silversmith. Several factors contributed to the piece's value. The use of a renowned pottery artist like Wilcox and a prestigious silversmith like Gorham was significant. The early period of the Gorham overlay added value as well. The excellent condition of the pottery, free of cracks or crazing, was another positive aspect. The only drawback identified was a hairline crack, which unfortunately detracted slightly from the value. Despite this, the estimated auction value of the piece is
between $3,000 and $4,000.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh my gosh.
And were it not for the tight hairline, I would have said $4,000 to $6,000.